I was the guy they found first. So it was like, we got this problem, you got to fix this, or what can you do about this? So in a way, there was times I felt like I was in charge of the whole thing. I was certainly the first person they complained to.
I did work the Guns N' Roses show. I have to tell you, most of them shows, they were work for me. So I can't say I was all that excited. It was always good to hear new bands, but they were new, and they were a young, bloodthirsty rock and roll band, you know. So this was cool.
The intercom quit, and this guy from BML, he and I walked through the entire crowd. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Moving people, trying to find. He had to replace the cable from the lighting board up to the spotlight thing because they couldn't hear. So. We moved a couple thousand people. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
And they came in, it was like a circus. I remember the girls stumbling off the bus and them guys going like, see you later.
It kind of blurred together there after a while because, heck, we were doing 15, 20 shows a year or something when you counted Middletown and Manchester.
I did indeed work the Milli Vanilli show, and it was a learning experience. It was funny. It was just before they got exposed for not really singing to having it all recorded. And I remember that it was the middle of the afternoon and it was sound check time, and you started hearing music, and usually everybody's on stage playing, tuning instruments, tuning the PA, blah, blah, blah. And I happened to be walking out front of the house, and here's their voices pounding, and there's nobody on stage, and there's nobody singing, and here's Milli and Vanilli, or whatever the hell their names were, standing next to the front of house, and they're dancing and kind of like, and then I realized I'd walked up on stage and I'd seen this big, huge thing, and I go, like, what the hell is going on? And come to find out, this is their rack of DAT machines that was their voice when they were singing. And if you remember this, they would sing in perfect English, no accent, and then they would actually talk between songs with that heavy whatever accent it was. You know, how the hell do these guys do this? You know, and then find out later, because I didn't even really realize at that point that this rack of DAT machines was their voice. I kind of figured it out after a while, you know. But then I think it was very shortly after that when they got exposed for not singing, and now it's pretty common practice to have some recorded, you know, music or voice. Normally, they tell you, but you know, back then it was scandalous.
Somebody threw a bottle at John Kay or something. I don't know if it was actually Steppenwolf. It was John Kay or something, and he was like, I ain't playing in front of this crowd, and. My brother went running out there and went something about, we aren't playing if stuff doesn't stop flowing, and he got booed heavily, and then a bunch of bikers stood up and said, okay, there will be no more trouble here. And John Kay went back out again, yeah.
I remember calling my friends going, hey, we need spotlight uppers, we need hands, you gotta get down here. It's Metallica? And it was easy, all you had to do was say Metallica. You call the right guy, you say Metallica. They were there just to see the damn thing. It didn't even matter, like didn't even ask about money, absolutely. And we would send, Jane Thompson was the runner at that point, so we go, Jane, you gotta go here, you gotta go here, you gotta go here, and pick these guys up. I remember that was one of the first shows that a friend of mine, Paris, came, and he had never won a spotlight before, and we did not have enough people. And I remember saying to him, we got in a spotlight meeting, and I said, Paris, I don't care what they ask, do not tell them you have never run a spotlight before. Do not tell him. So we had the spot meeting, and the first thing the guy says, has everybody run a spot before? And I look at him, and he's going, huh? So one of the guys go, well, I haven't ever run a spot before. You need to leave. It's like, gosh, So now we were in trouble because we had to scratch up these guys as it was, so we had to replace one guy. So we're on the way back. We're walking after the spot meeting. We're walking back, and the guy's going, this is a fast-paced show. I call them quick, and everybody's got to be on their game. I hope everybody's experienced, blah, blah, blah. So then we're walking back, and I remember walking back from that meeting going, Paris, okay, this is the way the spotlight works, Dowser, and, you know, and here's your frames, and he's going like, So we get him on the spotlight for the opening act and said, we're going to get you on the drummer, dude, because that way you just point at it, you lock it, and all you have to do is them colors. Worked perfect for the opening act. But what happens? He gets the most active person on stage. He's running back and forth, and right in the beginning, and he hadn't had to use his iris yet. And the guy's going, open your iris. and he's pulling it. Open your iris, makes the spot larger. So I'm on the other side of my spot. I had to dip under my spot. I'm running my spot. I reach up and I go, and push his iris up, and he's going, okay, got it. Finally he goes, okay, spot whatever, spot 3, perfect. Then he figures out that, so on we go. And this is the way the whole night went. And that was one of them ones where you just didn't have enough of the right people, and somebody got an opportunity. You know what I mean? It was another opportunity at Weedsport. But it was crazy, man. Like, okay, here's how it goes.